Today we're going to be taking a look at the wireless Kitten controller by Ein. I think it's Ein, it seems to say that in the booklet. And yes, all of the text on the front and the back of this box are in what appears to be Japanese, but don't worry, the booklet that comes with it does have an English text section. I just don't know how to pronounce the name of the company that made this thing. But without further ado, we will take it out of the box. And the first thing I'll point out is that this controller is smaller than the Pro controller for Nintendo Switch. It doesn't look like much, but it feels like a lot, if that makes any sense. It does have a decent weight to it. Not as heavy as the Pro controller, but it is still a decent weight. I don't feel like this thing is so light it's just going to float out of my hands. It's not cheap. It doesn't feel cheap. If you're wondering why I've gone for a white, grey and pink selection, well, in case you didn't figure out this controller isn't for me, it's for my wife. At least that's the excuse I'm using. Now for a closer look at the controller, you can see it's got these little pink paw things at the end of the handles. It's quite a nice touch, I suppose. The sync button, it's tough to tell because it's so small, but it would appear that those are little kitten paw prints going sideways. I might be wrong, it looks like that, but you've really got to get in close, and I don't know, I might be wrong. The analog sticks are ridged on the outside, and you know what? They feel really good, really fluent. The D-pad does feel a bit sharp on the edges, kind of like an old NES controller. The font that's been used for the action buttons is very different. It's not bad, it's just, I don't know, it's just different. And here, top central, we have what is obviously the icon for the company. At least that's what I think. I obviously can't read it, so I'm just guessing. But while all of this is important, what you're really wondering about is probably, are those ear buttons for shoulder buttons any good? Well, looking at them, you wouldn't think they're that comfortable, would you? I mean, if you just look at the L and the R buttons, you can see the way they groove in and out. It's kind of strange. Your fingers do wrap into them nicely. Probably better for people with smaller hands. Again, I have to point out, this isn't really a controller for a guy like me, a guy my size. This is more for a younger gamer, or a female gamer, someone with small hands. Anyway, these back buttons do feel responsive. They do travel well when pushed in. Doesn't feel cheap. Does look a bit cheap though, I'll grant you that. But all around, the controller looks nice, it feels nice, but does it work well? Well, here you can see me playing Minecraft on my wife's Switch. Of course, I wasn't going to bother syncing this thing up to my one. And here you can see that I'm having no trouble moving the character. I'm having no trouble doing anything in the game. And the shoulder buttons feel pretty good, I have to say. I've got no complaints. Again, it would be better for someone with smaller hands. Also, there are many different color variations for this controller. There's, I think, a brown and a black one. For Animal Crossing fans, it's like the Tom Nook one, I believe. But my wife really wanted this one just because it was so cutesy and kitten-eared. She's been thinking of getting some kitten earphones to go along when playing online Minecraft on the weekends, so this controller will definitely go well with that. All in all, a good controller. Worth trying out if you can get a deal on it. And if you're a guy that's similar sort of size to me, don't bother, go for something bigger. But what do you think? Would you buy this controller? Do you think it's just a novelty item, or do you think that a lot of people are going to want this? Do you think them shoulder buttons are just too out there? Let me know what you think. I genuinely want to know what your thoughts are on this thing. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Game Poke. If you enjoyed the video, please click like or leave a comment. And if you want to help out the channel, please click subscribe. It really does help. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.